together, but no, Bethior goes crashing down. Determination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marbles. Kayla versus Allison, and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory. Hello everybody and welcome here to the CVRcade Solo Cup. It's the week 5. We are over halfway point. We've already had some amazing racing earlier today where Bethior stood here in the commentator studio and brought you through the action. Now we go again for zones K and L. We are starting some places an hour earlier, some places it's the same. It's because Pacific time did change to daylight saving time. This will be the time we will be racing until, you know, well, forever really. You'll just have your time catching up when you change as well. So I hope I explained it enough, but time zones, they can be confusing. We've got 4 races on display today as always. Aqua Velo coming up first, 8 laps. There is going to be 1 Quantum Shift, 1 Comeback Kid. Water Village. The rumor is Seth Kuhn going to crash over or under 36 times. We're going to have to see. Rocky Mountains, 1 lap. That was explosive this morning. And we finish on Country Rally. Broadcasting in from across the world today, here into the Mixer stream, we have got Sebastian Kuhn out of Germany, who will be in here racing. We have got Nigel Doyle out of New Zealand, early in the morning for him. We have Mr. Casey Shum out of the United States of America. We've got Mr. Niels Heldens as well, who raced earlier this morning. He'll be racing for the Netherlands. We have a winner of Zone E this morning, Quentin Molyneux, winning that one by half a point. We've also got Timothy Tamont taken to the start line here of Team Hive usually, but today he rides for Belgium. We've got Carl Axel Sander as well, who rumor has it he is equalizing on a new device-based power curve, so you'll see his little shoulder there. That is a Cade Cadet symbol. We'll see how he performs today. And last but not least, we have Jennifer Garcia here in the broadcast, also out of the United States of America. Jennifer, 1 minute to go here. A more technical Omnium this week. How do you think you'll fare?
I miss quantum shift ability on the first races because it gets me tired before it's even begun. But I'm excited. I think Water Village will be really interesting. Seeing as I don't have a corner speed map and haven't practiced much, it could be a crash fest for sure. So maybe I'll top Seb's 36 crashes.
It'll be fun to see. Who do you think is going to win today? And you can't say you, because I know how much you're killing or dying to say
yourself.
Oh no,
I wouldn't say that, don't worry. I'm hoping Timothy. He's been really consistent and really strong, so I would not be surprised if he came in for another win.
Putting the pressure onto Timothy on this one. We'll see if Timothy can cope with the pressure. Good luck, Jennifer, and thanks for taking the time. The racing starts in 20 seconds. And as Jennifer alluded to, this race does not have Quantum Shift as an ability. It has Corner Caper and it has Uncrashable. And we saw just an amazing finish earlier today with Jeff Rooney Quantum Shifting, because you only get 1 super for the Quantum Shift through the group, and coming on through Quentin Molyneux and Ben Shuey along to take the victory. Who will start the day off strong here in Zone K in the CVRcade Solo Cup in week 5. Quentin Molyneux has already secured what seems to be $285 here in the CVRcade Solo Cup. He's won another $30 this morning. Can he add to it? Everyone's eyes are going to be on him here. He sits at the front. He in second place is on the wheel of Ryan Goldenberg, who's come out like shot out of a cannon. 600 equalized watts here from Ryan Goldenberg, and he's not really looking back. Ryan Goldenberg is moonlighting as Sebastian Kuhn here. Who is this? He's just come to the front. He is still holding 500 equalized watts, and we see that he too is a Cade Cadet out on course. So in week 5, 2 of the high-up racers, both racing as a Cade Cadet, so we'll see them, how they will fare. Sebastian Kuhn, the metronome, moves on up. 1.7 kilometers remaining on this first race with a one-time scoring multiplier, meaning first place takes home 30 points. So far, Jennifer Garcia is sitting nicely and protected in the middle here in 5th place, so she did say she was missing Quantum Shift, but so far she's not in need of it. The question is going to be the comeback kit. How do you use it efficiently? As we can see here from above, a few riders are coming on back. It gives you 367 equalized watts. It's Carl Axel Sander who moves through the group as he has already used his comeback kit here to move on up. But now I assume the following riders are going to be aware to this attack by Carl Axel Sander. He sits on the front, and in 2nd place, it's Sebastian Kuhn out of Germany who closes it down. 1 kilometer is all that's remaining. Sebastian, Casey, Carl, Quentin, Jeff, Jennifer, Allison, who's back in, Timothy, Vibeke, Nils, Nigel, and Ryan are all within a shot of winning the first race of 4 here. As Quentin moves up on the outside, he wants to be away and clear from the rest here. This is going to be intense, guys. This is going to be an explosion of power. It's going to be an equalized wattage bazooka as we come to the finale here. As Quentin Molyneux moves over to the right side. He's got Ryan behind him. He tries to move into the left there, but he gets denied by the American Casey Shum as we enter 2 laps remaining. Quentin still looks calm and composed. He puts in a chamois. He goes up to 500. Nobody goes with him. Casey Shum is starting to move up in number 13 on the outside. It comes down to the comeback kid. It comes down to the Quantum Shift. Who is it going to be? 400 meters. Riders at the back all taking each other out. There it goes, ladies and gentlemen. Last lap, 300 meters. Casey Shum secured on the outside, but there's not much room from a comeback kid. A few riders trying in the back. There goes Timothy. There goes Nigel Doyle. Nigel Doyle being the comeback kid enabler for the rest down here. Is Timothy Tamont and Casey Shum are pushing on through, and Nigel Doyle, 100 meters to go, takes the victory in front of the rest. Here's Timothy, Casey. Looks like the internet down in New Zealand may have just taken a dive off a cliff. Hopefully he can come back so we can chat to Nigel here in a second. But Nigel, 30 points. Timothy, 26. Casey, 23. Let's watch that replay as it was all over the place here. So let's hope the internet is stable enough. Nigel, congratulations. That was a bold and brave move.
Yeah, well, I was just waiting for people to go, and I thought, well, we've only got 1 lap to go. I was pretty well positioned to use comeback kit. I was at the back of the pack, used it, and then put it on Quantum Shift so nobody blocked me, and it worked. Oh.
Well, you sound tired, Nigel. I'll let you rest up here and get ready, because we've got Water Village Cityscape coming up next. Here's Nigel Doyle from New Zealand in here scoring 30 points. Second across the line was Timothy Termont. And Timothy, in the chat, we've got Tim Fulford watching. He said you should have used your comeback kit earlier. Is that the same sensation you've got?
Yeah, I was pressing the wrong button. I tried to use it earlier. I was pressing 4 instead of 3. But he's 100% right. I should have used it earlier. Not too sure if it would have mattered because he still won by quite a bit. But yeah, definitely should have used it earlier. Agreed.
Well, Timothy, here comes Water Village. Water Village. This is a map that I'm expecting great things from you. Jennifer said she thinks you're the favorite. It's technical, it's twisty, it's turny. How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Had a long but easy day at work, so yeah, I'm still quite fresh. I did watch this race in Zone E, and yeah, if I can just copy Ben, do what he did, I'd be good. But yeah, he did that amazingly, so I'll just try and copy it.
We'll see, Timothy. Good luck here in the race coming up. In third place, we have Casey Shum, 23 points. But what we did see earlier today with Quentin is not how you start, it's how you finish. Top three, regardless, is strong. Casey, what do you make of Water Village? It's only been raced once or twice in the past.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of it. I watched the races this morning. It'll be interesting. It's a challenging course. I've ridden it on the controller, but not really with my legs. So it's going to be a wreck fest. I don't think it's going to be a lot of pack racing, but I'm not sure. It's got a lot of similarities with Electric Fidget, but then a lot of differences too. So yeah, this will be interesting. I'm a little nervous on how this one's going to play out, and it's worth a lot of points.
It is indeed. It's tied for the highest scoring multiplier. Casey Shum nervous. This should be a spectacle. Somebody who I reckon never really gets nervous, but I feel like I have a sensation that Sebastian Kuhn, the metronome, may be feeling a bit of nervousness coming into this one. Seb, this is not exactly your cup of tea.
No, but I have mounted new brake pads, so I think this is an advantage for me.
New brake pads. We'll see how long they will last in this one. But Seb, you know, a race like this, what do you think of when you go into a technical race like Water Village?
I hate it. I hate it because you have to slow down so often. You think you're in slow motion.
Tell me how you really feel, Seb. But good luck. 2 minutes to go here before Sebastian Kuhn out of Germany is going to race up next. Carl Axel Sander came across the line in 5th. Carl, you heard Sebastian's take. What, do you agree or do you disagree?
Oh, no, I think I'm enthusiastic for this one. I practice it so. But, you know, I'm a bit, you know, I got nervous because, you know, my power curve is a bit unpredictable. So, you know, you get this real hard real-time, you know, equalization spikes. So, you know, so if you, I told you before, if you're trying to go really fast in a segment and you depend on it, and then, you know, you get, so, you know, yeah, I'm probably going to play it safe. Just, you know, just try to be confident that I know the course and can ride, you know, quite steadily and just finish top 4, top 3 or something.
Top 4 sounds like a brilliant plan here, Carl. Good luck. 1 minute and 30 seconds to go here. As we've got Jeff, Jennifer, Quentin, Allison, Ryan, Vibeke, Homer, Tammy, Nils, Rick as well in the racing, as you can see. Let's get a final word. I think Quentin, we haven't heard from him here yet today. Quentin, earlier today, I think we saw the biggest smile I've ever seen on Ben Shuilong. Is it going to be you this time around with that smile on your face?
I don't know. It's a very tough race. I know that much. So it's going to be a matter of just keeping your focus there, and like Seb said, make sure that your brake pads are in order to brake all the time, because it's going to be a lot of braking or crashing.
Or crashing. This is definitely one of the trickier ones. This and Electric Fidget somewhat fit in the same category as Casey Shaw mentioned. Good luck, Quentin, and good luck to the rest of guys and girls out on map for Cityscape Water Village. Good to see Alison Kubota back in the racing. It's been a while. We are glad we'll welcome you back with open arms. She used to race every single zone like Homer Thompson. Then she went outside. Now she's back indoors racing, as she's a cadet, as you can see, with her little license badge. And she'll be riding on through. It is 3 laps of Water Village. You've got 1 corner caper and 1 quantum shift. Name of the game here is to not make a mistake. A mistake on this gets amplified. It is very technical. It's very twisty and turny as we get out of the gun here. Quentin wants to get out and away from the danger of other riders. You can focus on yourself once you are out. Sebastian is there. Timothy is there. Vibeke is there. Casey, Nils, Jeff. Everybody's together as we come into the first corner. Casey almost hits the back there of Jeff, but stays safe. I think that was Casey, in fact, as Sebastian moves on through. This is one of those maps. The more we race it, the higher the quality of the racing is going to be. I think we could be in for a real treat here. Some of the best racing as Casey slows down, maybe a bit over braking. He did not need to, but better to be safe than sorry, as it is Sebastian Kuhn on the right side here, out of Germany in the lead. Now, this is a man who can cope with the pressure as Jeff goes down, Ryan goes down, Carl Axel Sander comes flying out of nowhere with corner caper and quantum shift. So he too wants to be out in the front here as he's trying to manage his speed through all the corners. But that is his two supers as Sepp has gone down. Sepp through the corner here, went too quickly and he falls down. That's the first crash for Sebastian Kuhn. Luckily for him, the bar is set at 36. Anything below 36 is considered a success. So we'll see. Nils Heldens comes on through. He also, Sepp goes down again. That makes it 2. That makes it 2 for Sepp Kuhn, as Nils was racing earlier today with Quentin, with Ben. And we can put audio on from Sepp. Sepp, I see you down in 12th place. What happened?
I have a 10-second my buttons react 10 seconds later than I push them. A lag, I mean. So, no way to race.
That is an absolute killer, but when you install the brake pads, make sure they're correctly adjusted or they may, rub on the tires. So, good luck, Seb. I'll let you get back in there, hopefully racing further on through as he goes down again, further down. But in the meanwhile, Casey Schum has taken the lead here, 6 seconds ahead of Carl Axel Sander. This is the sort of race you'd really expect Casey to do well in. We remember the day where Frank Garcia got on for his controller and he challenged Casey Schum to Water Village. I think it was 4 or 5 times they had to go head-to-head here, where Casey Schum just reigned supreme. As Vibeke Bertram also makes it her way to the front here. So a Dane and a Swede, second and third, with Niels Heldens, Timothy, Quinton not long after. Nigel, winning the first race, currently sits 7th. But the name of the game here is that not many people have crashed yet. They've really upped their game. They've done quite well so far. But can they maintain this all the way throughout? You can see the scoreboard down below. Timothy, Casey Schum at 98, Vibeke 79, Timothy 78.5, Niels at 70.9. But this is only the second race of 4, and it's joint for the highest scoring multiplier available in the racing here. So you really want to score as many points as possible as we get on to the gravel section here. They push on through. Niels, Vibeke, and Timothy all try to up the pace. It's one of the only straightaways on Cityscape Water Village where you can push the tempo, because for half of the map, you're essentially holding the brakes, not going much above 32, 28. We'll see here as they come through this little rider, and then they're at the end here, there is another left, and then they're coming to the finish line. But Casey Schum is within sight here for Vibeke Bertram. This is the Great Dane who is pushing it in the front here. She's coming up to a tight corner. She's at 32. She safely comes on through, and she can see Casey Schum just up the road here. And that is 1 lap down. Casey Schum is at 188 equalized heart rate. Vibeke 187. Niels 190. Timothy 188. And Quentin is down in 5th place. But a strategy we've seen really adopted by Quentin lately is slow and steady, build up, and then in the last 2 races, you try and take home as many points as possible while the rest are tired. So limit your losses early, and then when the iron is hot, you strike at the end. I think we're seeing something similar here from Quentin, just trying to make sure that he sits in 6th, then he moves to 5th, maybe moves to 4th, and then he comes on back, because the next race after this is Rocky Mountains, and that is going to be a true test of physical skill, where this one is a true test of mental and technical ability. 6 riders make up the front. Quentin Molinez, as you see on the screen. Ryan Goldenberg out of Canada. Vibeke Bertram, who just crashes in the corner there, as you can see. Over-exceeded the corner speed as Quentin too goes down in the same corner earlier today. he blamed Niels Heldens for his map creations. Well, right now, Niels Heldens is sitting sweet and comfortable in second place, with Timothy Tamont just behind him here, with Ryan Goldenberg as well. Scoreboard is close at the top, but with Casey Shum's third place in the first race and Current sitting first in the second race, he's starting to grow himself a tiny bit of a lead here. As every corner they slide to the right, they slide to the left, and they've got to stay upright as Niels Heldens starts to regain the lead here. He starts to gain back on Casey Shum, as you can see the two riders on the screen here. Timothy Tamond on the right, who sits in third. You've got Niels Heldens on the left, who sits in second. One hand on the brake. We're at the halfway point here of Cityscape Water Village. Casey Shum has a 5-second lead, but Niels is closely trailing him by. Timothy Tamont 1 second down. Then there's a 3-second gap to Ryan, a 3-second gap to Vibeke, a 3-second gap down to Carl Axel Sander, and then the rest are relatively all close together as we see Timothy and Niels come by the waterfront here as they're very closely guarded, and now they are starting to regain truly on Casey Shum. Timothy passes Niels on the outside, and Casey Shum is within 2 seconds. We're about to enter the final lap of racing, and we're going to see a firework of a finale here, because riders are going to start pushing it to the edge here. As you can see, Timothy has got Niels behind him, he's got Casey in his sights, and he's trying to close it down. He's at 188, but they're starting to take risks here by the waterfront as Timothy, very close to the edge there, but stays upright. But Casey Shum on the lead here has got a 3-second gap. He's been solo, but this is not necessarily a map where it makes the world of difference, as a super has been activated down in the chasing group. It is Niels Heldens with his corner caper using it here. Very interesting. Maybe a misclick, maybe a strategy that we're not aware of, but using it in one of the only sections of the map where you can really give it full beans. And he chooses to do it here. Timothy Tamont still keeping his drive, but as you can see by his camera angle, he does not have much left as he waves to the camera. So contradiction of of those two. But Casey pushes on through. He's been joined by Niels Heldens out of the Netherlands behind him. They're together, but they have both used their supers, I believe. That leaves Timothy behind with his corner caper left here. Glenn thinks it's going to be Timothy at the end. Fulfer says that's quite an angle. I have to agree with that one. DK Mansuni saying what could have been for Vibeke Bertram. It's only the second race, far from over, but here we are, the last lap of racing. Quinton at the back here is using his corner caper. He's trying to catch up to Ryan Goldenberg. Leave Vibeke, leave Nigel behind, but Nigel, winner of the first race, is also just around the corner. If we go back to the front, there is a fourth rider looming in the corner. And as you see him here on the right, it is Ryan Goldenberg catching back up in number 12. This is going to be such a close finale. If everybody stays upright, if everybody pushes each other here with 2 kilometers left, this is going to be nail-biting affair. You're going to be sitting at the edge of your seat here because every corner could be the last for any of these 4 riders. Casey Shum, United States of America. Niels Heldens, Netherlands. Ryan Goldenberg, Canadian. And Timothy Tamont out of Belgium. And the scoreboard still remains in the favor of Casey Shum as Quinton Molyneux crashes once more at the back here. And here we come on through. We're entering the most technical section of Cityscape Water Village. If you're not turning right, then you're turning left here. As we can see from the above camera angle of Casey Shum, he's got Niels Heldens just behind him as Ryan has gone down. That takes Ryan Goldenberg out of the equation. From 4, they're now 3. Timothy, Niels, and Casey. Timothy 3 seconds back here, but he does have a super in store. The question remains, when is he going to activate it? Both Niels and Casey know this, so they're trying to extend their gap as much as they possibly can before that becomes a concern of theirs. 1.4 kilometers. They slide on out again at 25. There goes Timothy. Timothy Tamont on the inside goes flying Timothy Termont, 2 corners in a row. Now, does he slow down? Yes, he does. He does not pull a Jeff. We saw Jeff Rooney do the exact same thing earlier today. But if we've got that on a replay, I hope for the highlights later, because Timothy flew by on the inside. And now, with a 2-second gap here, it's going to be tough for Casey Shum and Niels Heldens to make it up, but not impossible. Someone like Casey has kept his calm under pressure, and there is the long straightaway just before the finish line. It favors Niels, it favors Casey, and now when you look at the scoreboard, it has flipped in the favor of the Belgian Timothy Termont. 20 points in the lead. But it is his neighboring countryman, Niels Heldens, who is closing down the gap here, hot on his heels as he passes Casey Shum 2 seconds down here. Casey ever so slightly losing control of the race here. 700 meters. Niels stands up. This is a man who used his corner caper on a flat section. If he had kept it, maybe he would have had more, but it's not over just yet. Here we go. This is the flat section. This is all or nothing. You've got to maintain this. This is the sprint. Look at Niels. 900 equalized watts. Casey 700. Timothy 700 as well, as they are pushing everything they've got here. Belgium versus the Netherlands, and it looks like with 400 meters to go, they've both been pushed to their limit at 195, 194 equalized heart rate. Comes a turn, and Niels is gaining. Niels is going 7 kilometers an hour quicker. Niels Heldens has a chance here. He comes on up. Look at this. Niels Heldens is gaining. He is coming back. He gives it everything. He's going that tiny bit quicker. It's 100 meters and a left-hand turn, but it's 100 meters and a left-hand turn too much for the Dutchman. He got ever so close. Give it up for our 2 racers at the top of the racing, but also give it up for Casey Shum as he comes third. He really, really gave that one everything. Ryan comes across in 4th. Vibeke will leave Nigel Doyle in the dust. Quentin, with a few crashes here, sees him finishing 7th here behind Vibeke Bertram and Nigel Doyle. Then we have Carl, we have Jeff further back, but let's load up the instant replays here, as that is your top 8 out on the road. What a race! What an absolute crazy finale. I like Water Village. That one is definitely here to stay. As we see the highlights, we see Timothy's hunchback and then whatever that is. Timothy, man, kudos. Now, let's talk about that corner caper. That's the move of the day so far.
Yeah. In practice, I was able to do the triple corner. Like you pop the first corner caper in the first corner. You pop it like super late, just like the final lane that you're about to slide. And then you keep sprinting and you can get that third corner as well. But Niels and Casey were in those lines. And I could have used quantum shift, to be honest, and I should have. But yeah, something in the back of my mind was like, my legs aren't feeling that well. So I thought they would come back, and I saved the quantum shift for the sprint final. But I didn't have to, so that's good. Yeah.
Now, you're saying your legs aren't feeling that well. Rocky Mountains, uncrashable stability, they're going to be coming for you now.
Yeah. I'm so thankful it's only 1 lap. Yeah, I don't expect myself to do well here. But it's not that big of a multiplier compared to last race and the next one. So I think I'll be okay with like a 5th position here. I'll still try everything, but yeah, it's not my my strongest map, this one. So yeah, especially with the uncrashable ability, the bumps are brutal.
There you have it, guys. Timothy Termont here with an interesting mindset. Let's go and talk to the second hero of Cityscape Water Village, because Niels, I think you won a lot of hearts with the effort on the last one. You got ever so close. Talk me through that race from your perspective, because that was inches away.
Yeah, the start wasn't the best. Was a bit too far back for my liking. And then had to chase back on. Profited off some crashes that happened in front of me. I managed to get right together with Timothy, sort of, and then decided to pop the corner caper there because I saw Timothy was riding off, so I thought might as well just get the lead in quickly. But yeah, it probably wasn't the right call, but you know, mistakes are lessons, and I've had plenty of them. So yeah.
Now, you've heard Timothy say he's expecting 5th in this one. Are you going to take advantage of that kind of mindset?
Yeah, we'll see. Obviously, what someone says might be different to what compared to what someone does. So yeah, it's I'll see what happens, but let's put it on there.
Let's give it one. Nils, again, kudos, applause. That was a great race. But also, I mean, the 3 Musketeers in the front, Casey Shum finishing out that trio. Casey, your strategy seemed to just be getting out and away from the rest and just ride a perfect race. Was that the case?
Yeah, I mean, it's similar to Electric Fidget that I did a few weeks ago. It was technical enough. Get away from people, get clear lanes, and just go. Timothy and I basically used the power-ups the same way. He just rode the course better and had better legs, I guess. So, I mean, that's okay. That was just about really time trialing it. Even when Niels caught me, I didn't want to go hard enough to fight with him. We'd end up wrecking. As soon as he got to my outside, I was just like, yeah. Get in front of me. Let me have the lane. If I got to run on him late, fine. But I didn't want him diving me at every corner, risking a slide. Just focus on your lanes and ride the course.
Do you think, because at the end there, both of them got relatively close to 200, and you stayed below 190 at the end, do you think that's in your favor, that they really pushed each other for those final points?
Yeah, I mean, I think it can hurt the fatigue-wise. I mean, I was essentially watching my gap to Ryan. He was coming hard on that last straightaway, so I actually kicked more than I wanted to. But once I was close enough to that final slowdown corner, I knew I was safe. So, I mean, those matches are pretty small number. So they both definitely burned one there. So one more than me, I should say. We all burned some. So that could matter. I'm not so sure how much here versus Country Rally. This is a minimized loss race, and be ready for Country Rally.
Be ready. Well, I think this one is going to catch a few people out. I was literally screaming at the monitor earlier today because Phil Lovett at the front there getting his first victory. And I think feel good story for everyone watching as Phil Lovett, a racer who's been racing for so long, part of Team Havoc. He came in there and he went off the front on this race on Rocky Mountain and Sony. And it's like, Cade has this effect of you just can't help but like, oh my god, he's gonna do it. And I think this one, I would like, we've seen Timothy, we've seen Casey, we've seen Nils and Nigel. I would not be surprised to see Tammy Woods, Rick Woods, Allison Homer, Jennifer Garcia be the ones to look out for in this race because it's completely different. It is keep your legs turning, keep going. It's only 8 kilometers of racing, but you can go hard in this one. Not have to worry about crashing, not really worry about corner speeds. It's uphill, give it your all, and then you've got Country Rally to finish on. I really liked how it played out in Sony, and I think we're going to see more of the same in this one. And you already see the Great Dane, the Beast from DK from Denmark, Vibeke Bertram, 800 equalized watts on the right. Jennifer Garcia, this is the map that she did make her name on. Rocky Mountains, as she just gets through Vibeke Bertram there at the right time. But it's the two ladies leading the charge on the front of the action here. As we can see, the Cade competitor, Jennifer Garcia, in the wheels of Vibeke Bertram. And Vibeke's not, it doesn't look like she's going to stop anytime soon. She came out firing, and all cylinders are still running. The engines are going, she's getting ready, she's taking off. She is 2 seconds into the lead here at 400 equalized watts. Closest one is Jennifer. Then you've got Casey, you got Jeff, you got Ryan. Tammy Woods is in 6th, Homer in 7th. And then it looks to be Nils Heldens down in 13th place here. So Nils Heldens in 13th. Maybe slightly starting to feel the repeated efforts that he put in on Cityscape Water Village. But here we go. Jennifer Garcia with Casey Shum on her wheel. And it's Homer Thompson moving over to the left here. The man, the myth, the legend who recently became more aerodynamic, but was the power in the beard? Was that the source of eternal youth? Well, we'll just have to see as Homer Thompson is slowly grinding it. And this is what I mean with this race. You're going to see riders who on the other races may have struggled a tiny bit due to the technicality and the level of decisions under pressure. This one, there's only one decision. It's, am I going to go hard or am I going to go hard? And then hopefully stay in the draft for somebody. But Vibeke right now is going. Homer's up there. And we see Quinton Molyneux in fourth here. It hasn't been his zone just yet. And now he's fighting on through, as you can see, on the wheel of Jeff Rooney and Homer Thompson as he fights on through. Jennifer now falls down the ranks. Carl Axel Sander, Nigel Doyle down in 8th and 9th place here. As you see the Swede and the rider from New Zealand sitting 2nd and 3rd here on the line. 8th and 9th out on course as they have been distanced. But Niels Heldens is down in 13th. And on the scoreboard, he was top 3 going into this. But now he's coming out 4. Let's go to Niels. Niels, get the audio on. What's up?
I got blocked by Allison on the first 3, so cheers for that.
That is gameplay coming out there. I'm sorry to hear that, Niels. Hopefully you can fight back on. But Niels getting blocked by Allison on the first straight, taking Niels completely out of the race so far. He is only 10 seconds down, so if he can push on through, he's got a chance. But way up the road, Jeff Rooney is now going with Vibeke Bertram as well. Jeff Rooney using the one super available in this race, the inertia. He comes over the top and 2 kilometers in. This is a spicy race. This is really one where if you can push hard, if you can get out of the gate and you can really get into the mindset of the other riders and try and deter them from following your moves, you can have much success here. And that's what we see the Great Dane Vibeke and Jeff Rooney, the Jeff Meister, trying to do here. Casey Shum also wants to be on audio. What's up, Casey?
I think somebody's mic's open. I hear heavy breathing.
I think that's in the game through the broadcasting widget. So if you do have your broadcast widget open or the comms widget, make sure to close it off because nothing is going through. No worry, Casey. So there you got it. We'll see. But also, where is Timothy Termont? Top 13? Timothy's in 21st. Timothy, what's up?
Yeah, my game's when I move a lane, I'm 50 seconds fast, so I can't put anything do here. Yeah, it's like 50 seconds. I just tested it. Yeah, if I surge, it's like only 50 seconds later that my avatar actually does it. So yeah, I'm just gonna try and finish this race, and then do a restart, I guess.
Hopefully all is good at the end here, Timothy. Sorry to hear that, but what that is doing though, it is completely blowing the Omnium apart. Niels got blocked by Allison. Casey's hearing ghosts. Timothy Tamont is having some latency. So what this means is that Vibeke, Jeff, Nigel, Casey, anyone can really get back in the racing here. Homer Thompson as well here. Currently sits 8th overall. But it's, guys, it's completely open on this one. 4.5 kilometers left. We're moving on up here. It's the last bit of the gradients before the steep kicker comes at the end here. That's where we saw Ben Shuilong and Niels Heldens with a synchronized inertia super. Will we see more of the same? We know that Jeff has used his already, but Vibeke has got hers left. So 2 riders, Dane and a Kiwi, are sitting at the front here. Vibeke took the initiative right from the gun. She attacked, she initiated it, and then Jeff Rooney came across, and now we're gonna see a tiny attempt of a block here. Jeff stays out of Vibeke's way, but they're at 198 and 194. They're at their absolute max capacity, and Vibeke uses inertia before the hill, so we do see an inertia. But she wants a rest so you can push. I think Casey's loading one up too. I think Casey is getting ready for an inertia. He's pushing it with Ryan. They're both doing 1,900 equalized watts here. They're pushing it. 55, 56 at the inertia for Casey. Nigel at 50, Ryan at 55. And they're just coming back. So you get a very stark contrast of the two uses of inertia. You just saw what Vibeke did, and now you see the effectiveness of Casey, of Ryan, and Nigel as they've made it on back. And with this move, Casey Shum will soon find... Ooh! He tried to avoid Ryan! Oh, he tried, but at the very end, he still lost the momentum from sliding into the back of Ryan. But it's a game of chess. You move one left, you move one right, you move one right, you move one left. At the end of the day, Casey Shum sits in second as Carl Axel Sander comes back to... Did somebody order takeaway? Well, I've got some Swedish chef here as Carl Axel Sander comes up to third. 186 equalized heart rate. And he sits in as Vibeke is pulling on all the stops on Casey Shum. She sees Casey trying to attack. She moves to the left. She initiates the blocking here on Casey. So Casey Shum here in a position where it's going to be wide open coming into Country Rally. The way this race finishes is so important for the overall, because on the last race on Country Rally, 2.5 scoring multiplier, it is a 20-point swing between first and second place. There's a 10-point differential, but it's so more than that. So if Casey can get all the points possible here, he can maybe allow himself to come third instead of coming second to secure his win if Nigel, if Timothy was to win. And that's what we see the push here. But Rick Woods, Rick Woods out of nowhere has also come back. So we have 7 riders making up this front race. Jeff Rooney, Casey Shum, Nigel Doyle, Rick Woods, Vibeke Bertram, Carl Axel Sander, and Ryan Goldenberg. Who's going to be the first one to go? Casey, I think he's trying to tell everybody to come on through, take turns here, but I'm not sure anyone is going to do that, because here comes Ryan on the outside. Guys, this is going to be a tense finale. 2 kilometers to the end here. It is week 5 of the CVRcade Solo Cup. The skills have just gone higher and higher and higher, and we're about to see the eclipse here as Carl Axel Sander witnesses the racing from the back here. He's trying to push on through, but he's slowly losing touch with the group here as Carl Axel Sander is racing on a new device today. He is a CADE cadet, so he's feeling the effects of this as he pushes on through. He chose to be a cadet today and train up his new device. Casey Shum, Rick Woods, Nigel Doyle sits in here as Casey Shum in 4th has just lost touch with the group, but I think he's still in control. Rick's at 199. Jeff's at 177. Nigel 181 here as Casey gets back in touch. But Rick Woods is at 200 equalized heart rate. He's at 300 equalized watts. We've got 6. We still have 7 riders. We still have 7 riders with 1.2 kilometers to go. It's going to be the first one to really go. Casey Shum, 800 equalized watts. Here he goes. Look to the far left. Casey Shum initiating an attack here. 800 equalized watts. Everybody's reacting. They move to the left, and he doesn't really get a separation. So the first match, there goes Ryan. Ryan is the next one. He doesn't really go anywhere either. Everybody's so antsy. It's 1 kilometer to go. 1 stretched out line. Watch the rider from the back here. I think it's Nigel Doyle who's moving on up as he just comes into the screen. It's Nigel and Carl Axel Sander. This is going to be an immense finish here, as we've unfortunately lost Nigel Doyle on the stream. 6 riders remain. Vibeke Bertram has been spat out. Carl wipes the sweat off his face. This is it, Mixer Chat. Who do you think's gonna win? Who do you think's gonna win? 500 meters. Take it or leave it. All or nothing. This is for the individual glory, but also the points that go together in the Omnium. 400 meters. Rick Woods increases the pace, but doesn't go just yet. Ryan is there. Nigel's there. There goes Casey. Casey from the front. He just goes straight. He doesn't care for anybody. He goes and nobody's on his wheel. Nigel in the second lane. Now he changes in, but it's 200 meters to go, and Casey's pushing it. 194, 195, 100 meters to go. The finish line is beckoning. It is Casey Shum, everybody, who takes the victory on the line. And that could not possibly have been any closer. Further back, it's Homer Thompson across the line as he will cross next. Let's have the instant replay because that was phenomenal on Rocky Mountains. 3 riders, Casey, it was Nigel, it was Rick Woods at the very end. Casey, that looked so incredibly close. What made you decide to go from the front at the time you did?
Sorry. They didn't really give me a choice, honestly. Velocity was doing a good job of maintaining control. And essentially, if I tried to go, they covered it. And if I sat back, they held the control and kind of, I would have been pinned in, essentially. So I think they played it the best they could. And I figured out how to play around it the best I could, and it worked out. So I'm happy with that. They made me work for it really, really hard. And that was a good race. I don't know who was in 3rd and 4th overall. I didn't see Timothy, so I knew I had to stay up there and just keep a lead. Looks like Nigel is probably my next competitor there. So now we just got to finish it off here. But yeah, that hurt. That was hard, and kudos to them. I mean, that was a great race.
That was brilliant. Honestly, that was fantastic, Casey. You did win it. You are in the lead. I see we've got Nigel back in. Good luck on Country Rally, Casey. I see we've got Nigel, and hopefully his internet is up to the task here. Nigel, that last finish, it got so close for you.
Yeah. Hey, I'm happy second behind Casey in a sprint, and there wasn't much in it, so I'm pretty happy with that. Whoa.
That was phenomenal, Nigel. 4 minutes until we go again here. Good luck, Nigel, on Country Rally, as I reckon he's the closest one because Timothy most likely will not finish Rocky Mountains. That puts Nigel 14 points down, but, you know, Niels Heltens is not out of this. Ryan Goldenberg not out of it. Vibeke not out of it. This is the highest scoring multiplier of the day, tied with second race. As we load up the replays once more, I want to hear from Niels Heltens because it was frustrating what happened to him. But you can bounce back. Niels, you've got a chance here to get maybe first, maybe second here. Are you able to recover?
Yeah, I could probably recover, but obviously you need to be realistic in these sort of instances and say that it's probably not going to be first or second. It's just going to be getting what you can get out of this. For Country Rally, it's actually quite a long race because you normally do like 3 or 2 laps. In this case, we do 5. So that is going to be interesting. So the power-ups are quite interesting. Saw this morning. So yeah, I've got to make a good race out of it. Sorry.
No worries. It's not like you just ridden 3 very hard events. So we'll give you a pass, Niels. Good luck. Country Rally, 5 laps coming up. You have 1 greater responsibility, 1 inertia, and 1 path of least resistance. Now, we do have Carl Axel Sander also in the broadcast. And Carl, that last race, that was such an interesting race. Back and forth affair. You came back a few times. Vibeke, we saw the Dane come back a few times. What was that like to race? Because it looked like a blast.
Oh, yeah, it was fun. Personally, I was just struggling. I was happy just to finish in the peloton, but struggling with my power. But yeah, it looked for those that was actually in the race, it looked fun and interesting in the sprint there. That kind of courses.
You got 8th place here. You've got a chance to get 5th here in Country Rally. Do you think you'll get it?
Yeah, my goal is top 5 here. I'm not gonna thrive in power, but you know, it's not that kind of a fast course. So if you just ride smoothly and don't do any mistakes, you can finish decently anyway, I think. So I'm gonna go for that.
I like it. Let's hear from Jennifer as well, because on the last race, it was 2 riders who initiated the moves. It was Vibeke Bertram and Jennifer Garcia. Jennifer, what were you thinking?
I was just thinking it would be like old times. Yeah, my legs were cooked. When Vibeke was up there, I was like, yeah, let's go. Like, I was getting excited, and I just saw her take off in front of me, and I just didn't have it in me. But I think it was Tammy and I who had a good race at the back there, so it was still fun.
We need to create a super that makes you attach, like a reverse tractor beam. The rider on the back can like fish hook onto the person in front of them. But It was good to see the glory days back for a bit, Jennifer. What are you expecting from Country Rally?
I'm expecting people to do really well. We've done this map so many times now that people have really mastered it. I think there's going to be some really good uses of power-up combinations. You just have to be really careful because I know you want to use the inertia with the greater responsibility, but those corner speeds can get you, so it's really tough, the timing.
Now that we know what we can expect from other people, what can we expect from you?
Probably crashing, probably not executing the power-ups correctly, but we'll see.
Well, good luck, Jennifer. See if you can time the supers in this race. Those are, as always, great responsibility, inertia, and path of least resistance. You've got the scores, as you can see up here. Casey Shum, Timothy, comes across 121 points, so he did, in fact, finish the race. So 4 points is the difference. I think Timothy's in here with his issues sorted, so we'll see what he can do. 20 seconds is left here in Zone K of the CVRcade Solo Cup Week 5. We do have Zone L coming up after this, where we're going to have Ryan Goldenberg on the stream, Ben Shuilong, we're going to have Beth York, we're going to have Vibeke Bertram join in the racing here. 8 seconds to go, so we get ready to get underway. As the riders sit up, we got Timothy on the screen. He shakes his head here. It does not look like it's going to be his day, but on the other side, it's Carl Axel Sander and Nigel Doyle using their inertias. We got Nigel using his at 53. Carl goes down, chooses not to use his inertia from the gun here, so we will see. Nigel Doyle, though, is the preliminary leader of the race. 20 points ahead of Casey Shum, but Nigel, with the greater responsibility activated, does not have that, and his inertia, so the eyes do gaze upon Casey Shum only 4 seconds back here, second on the overall scoreboard, and he pushes on through, but Casey goes into the hay bales here, and he makes that task so much more difficult for himself. But as Niels Helden said, we're racing 5 laps, not 3 here. So we are racing a longer race here on Country Rally. A mistake like that could be detrimental, but greater responsibility, inertia, path of least resistance, if used correctly, could blow this race wide open. It's Allison, it's Ryan, it's Carl on the front here. And the battle for third and fourth here is also wide open, and so it is for second. All across the board, it is incredibly close. Niels Heldens and Alison Kubota in 6th and 7th are separated by 0.4 of a point. And I'm sure Niels would like to get some vendetta for after his accused block on Rocky Mountain. So he'll be pushing himself as he sits in 5th right now out on map with Alison Kubota in 2nd. As we see Nigel Doyle, we see Alison Kubota push it on through. Sebastian Kuhn is in here as well. Number 2, the blue colors. That is as Alison Kubota is going. Ryan Goldenberg is going now as well. Greater responsibility. Does not get paired with inertia here from Ryan. I think everybody may have seen what Ben Shuilong did earlier today as he fell down. Casey Shum as well, with his greater responsibility. He pushes on through as Niels puts a block on Casey. He slams the door. Casey not happy with it, but Niels Helden says, hey, I am still here. He puts his hand up as he comes through to the barn doors. 4.4 kilometers to go. Sebastian Kuhn further down. Allison must have had a crash perhaps as she now sits in 4th. Quentin there it is for Allison. So maybe commentators guys coming on through. A set passes through Ryan, passes through Vibeke. But on the scoreboard, everybody, it is the Nightmare, Nigel Doyle, with Nightmare Internet as well, coming on through here, pushing it on the front, and he is leading the charge. 13 points in the lead, but Casey Shum is coming back. Casey Shum 13 points down here, and he has got a chance. He can still get back up. If he moves 1 spot up here to Vibeke, he takes 5 more points. If he catches up to Sebastian, he would take 10 more points. Casey would need to get 2nd here. He would need to pass Quentin Molyneux, who is currently 4 seconds up the road, and with plenty of racing left, this seems very much feasible, but it comes down to whether or not you keep your composure as the pressure starts to heat up here. As Vibeke and Sebastian, a German and a Dane, sit in between Casey and Quinten currently. But Nigel Doyle is absolutely flying on the front as we see Casey Shum with his inertia being activated here. Is it going to be a deja vu? Does Sebastian do a block? Does Quinten do a block? No, this time for Casey Shum, he comes safely on through. And like that, everybody, look on the scoreboard down below. Casey Shum is your virtual leader on the road. And now Nigel, his fate lays in the hands of Sebastian, of Quinten, of Vibeke, of anyone behind Casey right now. He needs a rider to come on through. Timothy still sits in third here, so as long as he finishes the race, looks like his lead is large enough to secure a podium finish. But further down for the secondary positions, Nils is in fourth. He is 2 points ahead of Vibeke Bertram, but Vibeke is pushing on back here. Sebastian Kuhn, the battle is at the front here. Sebastian Kuhn hasn't had the best day of racing. He is what's between Casey Shum and winning right now, and Sebastian knows this. He wants a good result. He wants to push on through as he now moves on up. 42 kilometers an hour, going relatively quicker than Casey Shum here as he's pushing it. Nigel still 8 seconds up the road. He needs to stay safe all the way to the end here as well, and he knows it as we're going to see Sebastian Kuhn, Casey Shum. This is going to be a nail-biter. Just like Water Village, just like Rocky Mountains, this is going to be all the way to the bitter end for these races, because there goes Sebastian Kuhn with his inertia on the outside. And like that, when you look at the scoreboard, you will see that Nigel the Nightmare Doyle has moved 3.5 points in the lead here, and they would both get similar bonus points. As now Quinten as well is going to pass Casey Shum. So Casey goes down. He also gets passed by Niels Heldens. So from Euphoria to the other side of the valley here, Casey Shum, he's got Ryan coming by. He's got an open house here. They just keep coming in, and they help themselves as Ryan has to brake hard there not to hit Barney, the barn door. But now Niels Heldens is in third. Niels is 2 points ahead of Timothy Termont on the scoreboard. So he moves on to the podium as he sits in third. He's got Sepp further up. But right now, it is Nigel Doyle securely in the lead. One rider behind him is Sebastian Kuhn as they push on through. As we're going to see who's going to take the win. It does look like the Nightmare Nigel Doyle will take a good race here. But Sebastian Kuhn, if he is back, I fear for anybody choosing to race Zone L after this. Because when he is dead, he's lethal. When he is angry and dead, he's legal. When he's frustrated, angry, and dead, I just don't want to be within 100 kilometers. Make it 1,000. Maybe make it 100,000 of Sebastian Kuhn. As we enter the last lap of racing. On the front, it is Nigel Doyle from New Zealand. He has ridden a great race, but here comes Sebastian Kuhn. Sebastian Kuhn, with his greater responsibility, he stays out of the way. He avoids Nigel Doyle, and he goes into the lead. This opens the door for Casey, though. Casey is 8 points down. He is behind Quinten, behind Ryan. This is far from over. 1 kilometer to go here. If Seb wins this and Nigel gets second, we start to look further down here. So 8 points is what Casey needs to find. And Quinten, if he passes 1, he gets 5. Casey needs to beat Ryan. Casey in 1 lap needs to find 8 seconds. 8 seconds. Beating Ryan would put Casey Shum in the win here. But look at this. Sebastian Kuhn, the metronome, the German, has just pushed on through. Bearing any crashes here, he will take the stage win on Country Rally. He's got 500 meters to go. 3 seconds behind him is Nigel Doyle, our virtual leader en route, as he now just has to make sure as well he stays clear. Nils will move into 3rd place. Then we've got Timothy, we've got Ryan, we've got Vibeke, but Fantastic Omnium And we've got more of the same coming up in Zone L in 4 minutes time. Sebastian Kuhn pushes on through. He's got the Ramones. He's got Blitzkrieg Bop in his headphones. He comes to the finish line. If he can dodge the logs, if he can dodge the cones, that's all that she wrote for Country Rally and Zone K of Week 5 of the CVRcade Solo Cup. Look at the intensity, but just like that as well, Nigel Doyle takes what seems to be the victory, unless Casey can come on through. Casey, 3.5 points. 3.5 points down as Ryan pushes on through, and then Casey makes a mistake on the final corner. Good race there, good sprint between Ryan and Nils. Quinton in 9th, already winning one zone today. Vibeke comes over 5th. Jeff further down. I think Casey, do you want to be on audio, Casey? Was that what it was, I think?
No, I accidentally blocked Rick.
Oh.
I was waving him through. I didn't mean to do that. And he
No.
wrapped in front of me.
No worries, Casey. What happened in this race, by the way, while we've got you here? What happened?
I mean, I didn't have the legs anyway, but that first wreck, there's so much traffic ahead of you. I'm used to going to the left in the hay bales, and I was going to the right, and I couldn't see past the riders ahead of me. So I wasn't in the lane I thought I was in, so I wrecked. And then, I pushed to come back, but it was too much. And then, I mean, Emil's moved in front of me, and that wasn't intentional. I know he didn't know it was me or didn't know I was coming, and that's okay. And in the end, it didn't really cost me. I mean, I would have gotten 2 or 3 more seconds on that run, but I would have still fell apart at the end. So the wreck at the end was unfortunate, really, and that was my own bad because I don't know where Nigel and I stand as far as bonus points. That maybe the bonus points for me were enough to beat Nigel, but I think with those last couple of wrecks, they probably weren't. So, I don't know, maybe it was the velocity plot to wear me out on the mountain at a 1.5 multiplier to beat me here on the 2.5. I'm not sure. But kind of like I said on Saturday, we couldn't hang our heads because even if we removed the mistakes, we would have been second. I will hang my head here because if I remove the mistakes, I think I win. So it's my own fault for the mistakes in the end.
You can't.
But good race. Good job, Nigel. I mean, really,
say,
we didn't talk about Nigel till the last race, right? Good job, Nigel.
out of absolutely nowhere, the nightmare just strikes again. Casey, great racing. You know, there's only one solution to a second place in K, and that's come back in L and just wipe the floor if you got... Oh, T. I feel for anybody in T later, because I think Casey's with a bone to pick. Let's see if we've got Nigel in, because I think Nigel's internet may just be stable enough. Nigel, congratulations at the very end. How stoked are you?
I'm really stoked. I wasn't expecting to take out the Omnium there, and that was great. I don't have bonus points because this is my preferred zone. T is my preferred zone, but because of the times now suits me. T, I might not get home from work in time.
Well, I hope you get back later, because you got to go for the double. Yeah. Nigel, congratulations. That was great racing. Done brilliantly from the back. 1 minute and 20 seconds to go before L begins. We're just seeing some swaps coming in, so riders for L are going to come in. I see we've got Stefan coming back. Stefan recently joined CVRcade Riders. I am ecstatic to see what he can bring. And we got a newcomer. Erhard is in the racing here. I know I'm going to butcher that name because it's E-R-H-A-R-D. But anyway, it's awesome to see newcomers coming into the racing. Week 5 coming in here. We got John Pyle, Beth York, Ben Shuilong, Timothy Tamont, Alison Kubota. I think Vibeke might be one to watch. Ryan is in here. Niels is here. Jeff as well. Last race was amazing in here. Timothy is waving to the camera like a madman. Timothy, what's up?
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening. So I turned all the widgets off, so I don't see my power. I don't see the riders nearby, and it's a bit better the lag now. So this is going to be interesting racing like this.
Well, the purest form of CVRcade, Timothy. Let us know if it's the secret.
Can everybody do it? So it's fair. Thank you.
Well, you are. Well, we'll just see. You may be starting a trend here. You know what comes first? purest CVRcade racing or Daniel's roller derby? We'll just have to wait and see. Good luck, Timothy. Good luck, everybody else racing in here as Aqua Velo is about to get underway. 8 laps of racing here in Zone L as we see the riding coming on. So, here they're off. Sebastian Kuhn is back. Vibeke Bertram is in here. You got Alison Kubota, who just briefly really brought back the power. I mean, really good to see that in the last zone. We'll see what's going to happen in this one. Ryan Goldenberg, you can see on the stream here out of Canada, had a big role to play in the previous Omnium. What are his legs like here as we go into the double? Beth York moves over on the right hand side. What we saw in Zone K here, which is very interesting, is that it came down to the very end, and it was the decisive move. It was Nigel Doyle winning the first race and then coming on through with a very decisive attack. We might see more of the same here as Beth York making up the back of the group out of the United States of America, joined by John Pyle as well down in 7th place. And you got Homer, you got Stefan just out of Sweden, just out the back here, as you can see him. I think he's going to get back on as he moves one spot over. He's coming at 44 kilometers an hour. He moves on through. This is very much like a track race. You've got to hold your position until to the right time, because if you move to the front too early, you are out of the draft and the responsibility falls upon you, and then you've got to keep it up because the rest are going to come around you, and then you've got to fight to get back in here. So Homer, Thompson, Stefan, Timothy, Ryan make up the front currently. We do 4 races again here in Zone L. Aqua Velo, Water Village, Rocky Mountains, and Country Rally are the 4 races. Brilliant racing in Zone K. I'm expecting more of the same. I do see that Ben Shuilong, runner-up off Zone E, is just out the back here, so he seems to be struggling to try and get back on. So it may not be more of the same for him today, unfortunately, as he finds himself out of the back. Now, the favorite for this race feels like it lays upon the shoulders of the German Sebastian Kuhn. He had a lot of potential in the previous race, and when he came back, he showed it all on Country Rally, and I think he's waiting. He's riding this one like he wants something to prove. 3 laps is all that remains here as they get ready again. Riders gets into position. Homer, Stefan, Beth move on up. Timothy Tamont as well starts to stand up. Riding pure CVRcade this time around. How will that pay off for the Belgian as he finished top 4 in the previous zone? Can he up it up as he goes? He starts moving on up here. Sebastian Kuhn, as you can see, he slowly lets go of the back here, but they do have a quantum shift. They have a comeback kit and a quantum shift. So you may not want to be in the front when the sprint begins, because at the back you can load up momentum, you can load up energy and unleash. And with a quantum shift, you can go right through the group. So Beth is leading the affairs out, but it may not be the optimal place to be. 300 meters, all you rode, all you got left. It's Ryan, 1,000 equalized watts. It's Timothy, but Ryan looks to be in a good spot currently as he comes on through here. And like that, Ryan Goldenberg with a 2-second lead, 100 meters to go. It is Timothy Tamont closest behind him with Sebastian Kuhn in 3rd place. Ryan wins. Timothy, Seth, Beth, Allison, John, Homer, Vibeke, and then Stefan will be next across the line. Good racing. Ryan Goldenberg choosing the right time to strike, and he wins the first race as we see it here again. Next on up is, of course, Water Village Cityscape. We'll see if everybody can keep the rubber side down. Ryan, congratulations. That was quite a big move, and towards the end I saw a bit of panic in your eyes.
Panic? I was waving to Timothy, 50 or so meters back. Just kidding, Timothy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is about that map. I seem to do well on the lower skill ones. There are only 300 meters to go at the last, at the bell lap. So I decided to go. I saved my comeback kit just in case anybody came by me, but it didn't end up mattering.
Second Omnium of the day. First one looked pretty good from you. Now this one, coming into it, one of the favorites, Ryan. What do you think of the Omnium?
Of the Omnium? Yeah, I mean, I like doing them back to back K and L, or at least doing a second one of the day. I mean, you might be a little bit or a lot more fatigued, but you'll have done the maps and you'll get used to the corner speeds and how they feel and the dynamics of the race. So, you know, you've got that on your side, or hopefully I had that on my side. But we'll see how it goes. I did pretty well. I crashed once on Water Village last time around. So we'll try to make it one fewer this time.
It was also the most crucial time that you crashed when you were just in the finale, so maybe if you can pick your time of crashing better in this one, we'll see. We got Ryan in the stream. Good luck in the next race. Timothy Tamont back for more here in this one. Timothy, how was it racing pure CVRcade? No widgets, just you and the game.
Oh, that was really interesting because the lag kind of builds up over time during the race, so I started counting. You can see it in stream, I think, like 2 or 3 laps to go. I changed quickly left to right again, and I counted how long it took. And then I basically pressed my quantum shift and full-on sprinted with like 1 lap to go. And the time was decent, I guess, that it worked out where I wanted it to be popped and started sprinting. So I'm really surprised that worked and still got second.
That's next level, but now on Cityscape, how are you going to anticipate that one?
Well, for now, the game's lag free. Like left, right, right, left. Sorry, my bad. Let's hope it stays this way. It doesn't like add up again over time. So, because no way I can do this lag free.
Well, good luck, Timothy. I'll be keeping an eye out and think the rest will be doing so too. Sepp Kuhn, 3rd place in this one with a great time sprint. Sepp, there was only a few crashes in the last one. This one, will it be better?
I quit after 500 meters in the first zone because I had a lag of 10 seconds. So you cannot race this course with such a lag. So I missed race 2 and 3 and only could make it to 4. Sorry for Nigel for taking the win from him, but I was a little bit angry.
You don't say. You don't say, Seb. Well, hopefully you can use that energy to your advantage here in this one. I do see we have Mr. Sushi Salmon in here, and also John Pyle, in case for those that don't know. John, what's up with that name?
Favorite food.
I can respect that. That's a good choice. I mean, it always somehow in CVRcade stream, it always loops back to food. Always. Inevitable. It's the first law of CVRcade. One must always talk about food. But John, in the stream here, you've done pretty well for yourself lately. How are you feeling coming into this? Are you confident?
Anything with slow turns is not my cup of tea. I always forget. I always get way too excited.
Can't blame you, John. Good luck in this one, Mr. Sushi Salmon. Maybe you can have some celebration food after it's done. I'm sure that everybody in the chat, especially Mutt KG, just went, food? Oh, food. Beth is also joining us in the broadcast. She currently sits 4th with some awesome glasses. Beth, strong performance across the board. What do you think is going to happen in this race?
Well, I had the pleasure of commenting on Zone E and missed the K racing to see what people took for learning. I think that Ben did a master's class on this event in Zone E. So if I can emulate my inner Ben, that's what I'm going to try to do. Stay calm and see if I can execute.
Well, inner Ben, and I hope that if you win, like I'm saying, that smile I saw from Ben this morning, it's like a kid on Christmas morning. Like,
yeah,
did I just get
awesome.
my toy car? I have always wanted this car.
I know, it was awesome, so awesome.
Good luck, Beth.
Thank you.
We'll see. Cityscape Water Village. It is 3 laps of racing. You have 1 corner caper, 1 quantum shift. In the last zone, it was Timothy Tamont almost doing the triple turn corner caper. Will anyone be brave enough to attempt the same strategy here? We'll just have to wait and see. A very technical course with very, very many corners. Very treacherous corners that, like, you think you come into the corner, you come into the turn, you're like, 28? 20, 19 kilometers an hour? No, and they're like, oh, it was 22 kilometers an hour. So it's a tough map. We'll see who can keep their composure under pressure as it gets underway here on the front. We see Ryan Goldenberg sitting down in 6th, 8th wheel here. And this is where we heard Nils say earlier today in Zone K that you don't want to find yourself too far back from the start, because there's going to be so much congestion. There's going to be so many riders clocking up lanes, as we see Ben Shuilong, who will not be smiling like a kid on Christmas again, as he's just crashed down in 13th place. But we'll see who will be doing that. But as Neil said, you don't really want to be in the congested lanes. You want to be able to have the freedom to choose for yourself. As John Pyle eats some sushi salmon off the floor, he finds himself next to his bike. We look at the rest here. Sebastian, Vibeke, Timothy, Beth, they come on through. Jeff Rooney, Allison, Ryan further back as Timothy crashes, and so does Vibeke. Allison with a corner caper. It's also Ryan Goldenberg with a corner caper and a quantum shift. So early on here, Ryan is pushing it. He wants to get through this corner with the corner caper attached, and he does. And it's Ryan Goldenberg. He made one mistake in Zone K at a very inopportune time, but this time around, he starts the racing strong here on Cityscape Water Village. 9-second lead down to Sebastian, 5-second lead down to Beth York as the two closest chasing riders. And you look at the scoreboard, but one thing, oh, Allison goes down again. One thing Zone K taught us on Water Village is that anything can change. You can look at the scoreboard, but in an instance, it's Beth on the front with Ryan second, or it's Sepp on the front with Beth and Ryan second and third. So it's never really over until the end, because the closer you get to the finish line, the more risks you kind of take. And here goes Timothy. Timothy's attempting, oh, he's used his corner caper way out here. He needs to dodge one rider. He needs to hope it lasts all the way around. As you can see the celebration, Timothy pushes on through. He's at 197 equalized heart rate. We got the celebration in. I think that he may have attempted to use quantum shift, but he may have used his corner caper instead, forced him to commit to it in that turn. But it pays off so far, but it's on his own now as Beth York pushes on into first place here, having the luxury of watching the racing earlier today, and now Timothy Tamont pushing it through the corner with a celebration. But Beth has had the luxury of seeing Sony. She's seen the best of the best do it. Can she replicate that? Does the muscle memory, react to what your brain has stored of information? So far, so good for the American. You can see on the scoreboard now, just seconds ago, it was Ryan in the lead with 120 points. Now, with Beth York leading the racing, she's in the lead with a 1 point gap over Ryan Goldenberg. Anything can happen. And especially if we think that Ryan has used both Quantum Shift and Corner Caper already. As they get close to the edge there, Timothy Tamont, ooh, just to the edge of the corner. We get onto the straightaway here. The one section where you can give it everything. Timothy's already sprinted once. He goes again. Sebastian is down in 4th. Jefferson 5th. Quentin is moving up the rankings here. But it looks like this race is going to be amongst the top 3 for now. Sebastian is yet to use his supers, so if Sepp picks up any of the strategies he's seen from the other riders, from Nils, from Casey, from Beth, from Ryan, from Timothy, and he executes it, I wouldn't count Sebastian Kuhn out just yet as he sits in 4th. Ryan is going to get back on terms with Beth York here. One lap is down, and Beth hitting the brakes hard here, not wanting to risk anything. And that means that Ryan Goldenberg comes on through. The gap is 5 seconds down to Timothy here, as you can see on the right hand side. Now they go again. It is such a brutal map. You cannot let your guard down for a second. You've got to optimize the speed through the corners. You've got to nail the straightaways. And you have to be careful when you're in a situation like this, where Beth is on the outside of Ryan. And if Ryan ever so slightly just slides out, slides right into Beth and goes falling down. as now Beth's in the lead here. 1 second down to Ryan, 5 seconds down to Timothy, and then Sebastian Kuhn slowly but surely being distanced. The gap is now 15 seconds from the front two here as he pushes on through. Solid performance from him here. He is fighting on. He's not giving up. He hits the brakes. He saves it on through here. So Sebastian is learning. Now, part of this is I would not say it's too far of a stretch to imagine that Cityscape Water Village will most likely be in the grand finales. So you really gotta take the practice in, take the learnings, write down your notes, and be ready, because this could be the map that stands between you and $3,000. This could be the one. It could be Electric Fidget. It could be Dashed Against the Rocks. Any of these maps, whenever you race it, you got to make sure you get the race hours in. So Beth, Ryan, Timothy in the front are getting in, but also everybody on the back. We heard in the previous zone from Jennifer that her and Tammy had a great battle on Rocky Mountains. And those are the sort of things you take with you through the end here, as 3 riders on the front push on through. Timothy is 5 seconds down now. You can just see Ryan Goldenberg and Beth York in this first person view. She pushes up on again. I still don't think Sebastian is out of this. Sebastian with a corner caber and a quantum shift can very well come back. We're on the second of 3 laps here. If he knows next time around on this section to give it everything with a corner caper, a quantum shift. Oh no! Oh, and then Sebastian exceeds the corner speed. He crashes on through, and just like that, the commentator's curse strikes again here in the 2.5 scoring multiplier. Race 2 out of 4 in Zone L of Week 5 of the CVRcade Solo Cup. Poor Sebastian, says Mod KG. That was a hard crash. But Timothy is coming back here. He is getting on terms with the front two. He won Zone K. And now, with all the supers having been used on the front, I believe, it's going to be a pure race of skill. We're going to see what's going to happen. Jennifer says, I'd like to see 36 crashes now, Sep. So that is, of course, an official decree by Jennifer Garcia herself. So such is law. As Beth, Timothy, and Ryan come through the corner here. Beth is pushing it quite strongly here. Now she is putting on the heat. She's turning it up to 11 here and seeing who has what it takes to react to it. Is anybody going to pick up the mantle here and trying to match her confidence through the corners? Timothy slides out, Ryan slides out, but they're still safe. We go on to the straightaway. This is where they increase the wattage. Beth York, 1,000 equalized watts. Timothy opts not to go there. Timothy is showing signs of weakness here. Not going to 1,000 equalized watts, not sprinting on through. This is where Beth is gaining. Ryan on the inside too. Ryan Goldenberg comes over the top. This is where the 2 perhaps fresher riders, somewhat fresher riders, push on through. And they're going to increase their gap here as they come on through the inner streets of Cityscape. And they're going to have one left turn here. And then they enter the last lap of racing. Ryan Goldenberg, Beth York look incredibly strong now. And we'll see who is going to handle that pressure from behind us. There's Beth! Beth goes down. Timothy sits on the outside of Beth. Beth slides through the corner and she falls down. Timothy and Ryan from 3, they are 2. And now Timothy taking a rider out, sits on the outside shoulder. Beth slides on through, and now further back. Quinton, though, has got a chance here of catching up to Beth. So may have been the wrong super being used there, because he was on a straightaway. No, we got a super being used the way it's supposed to be. Quinton, why the corner caper there?
I used it on the corner right before the start finish battle.
Got it. Thanks, Quinton. We'll let you get back to it. So Quinton teaching the way. Now, there's many different ways to use supers. You've got the people wanting to use them early, wanting to use them late. You've got the commentators that think they know best, and they very often definitely do not. So that's why we got the live audio communications right in here. As Beth, with one crash, has to catch up here. Timothy, in the meanwhile, must also have had some trouble here as he sits in second. Ryan in first. but pushing on through here. It's 6 seconds between first and second. It's 4 seconds between second and third. And then from third to fourth, it is a 10-second lead currently. It's very, very close at the top. The scoreboard, as you can see below, Ryan at 105. It is Timothy at 91. Beth, 78.5. Sepp, 65.5. And Allison at 59. As Ryan Goldenberg goes again. But it's these sort of... Oh, Timothy... Oh, I was going to say, what was this? Timothy adjusts his jersey mid-race here, mid-acceleration. So wanting to look fresh, wanting to impress. And here comes Sebastian. Sebastian down in 6th. He tries to do it here. Is he pushing for the corner? Is he pushing through? No, he opts to brake instead. And that seems to be the correct choice as the corner cable runs out. And the battle for 4th is on here. And if Sepp can come around, that is 5 points more in his favor. It would put him 3 points behind Beth York and very much in the runnings for taking the overall victory. As Jeff Rooney comes through as well. That's another rider. Oh, it's Sepp. That's just as we cut away. Just as we cut away. Jeff Rooney. But he also goes into the back of Quinton. But back up at the front. There's action everywhere. Beth York, Timothy Tamont have lined up here in second place for the secondary sprint. It is Ryan Goldenberg that looks secure. He looks safe at the front here, bearing a crash as Timothy accelerates away and Beth slow to follow it. She knows the corner is coming up and she opts not to follow with it just yet. And just like that, a 2-second gap has been created. Beth goes down again. The American slides through the corner. You can see the smile. She knows. But now she's got the Sharks tailing her. She's got Quinton. She's got Jeff. She's got Sebastian just on her heels. This puts 3rd place into action again. Timothy, what's up?
What's the time difference to 3rd? I can't see it.
7 seconds.
Cheers.
7 seconds, Timothy. In real life, the Timothy goes down when you're trying to get some help. And the 7 seconds, which wouldn't have mattered, suddenly does matter now. So Timothy trying to push on through. This puts 2nd place on the card as well, but this puts it wide open. Quinton, Jeff, Sepp, anyone can really come on through here. Maybe not really Sepp, but Quinton and Jeff can come on through. On the front, 300 meters to go. Ryan Goldenberg looks safe. He will take the victory. That puts him 20 points in the lead here on Cityscape Water Village. But we're going to head to Rocky Mountains. A tough, tough race. 1 lap, uncrashable. It's going to determine everything. But Beth York running away with 2nd place as well. So Ryan Goldenberg takes the victory on the front, gets the celebration. Beth York will take 2nd place here. Timothy and Quinton are fighting it out here in the lead up. Timothy gets caught up by Quinton and the medicine gets returned to the doctor. Taste it, looks a bit sour, tastes a bit sour. Quinton happy with a 3rd place. Brings him back into the racing here as he sits 6th overall. Jeff comes through, Timothy, then Sepp, and then the rest. Good finale, good sprint, good coverage. Let's have a look at the instant replays. And always, as we do so, that Cityscape Water Village, Mixer Chat, what do you reckon? That is definitely one that's here to stay. That feels pretty epic all the way throughout, as crashes, as plays, as corner capers make the difference. Ryan, congratulations. Different result in this one compared to last zone. Safe to say you're happy?
Yeah, it might be my new favorite map. I hope we see it later on. Yeah, 1 fewer crash than last time. That was my goal. Happy to see friend Beth get 2nd. Yeah, it's a neat course. You know, on the slowest corners, you can almost get like a little bit of a micro recovery to go again and get back up to speed before the next corner. So yeah, really interesting. I like the way it races.
Now, Rocky Mountains and Country Rally is all that's left. 20 points is your lead, Ryan. Are you going to be able to sustain it?
Well, not much recovery in this one coming out. But the good news is it's only 1 lap. So just, yeah, put it out there. It was really exciting last Omnium. Probably see another exciting finish.
Well, I hope so as well. Good luck, Ryan. Let's go and talk to Beth, who is second across the line, 86 points on the scoreboard. Beth, that was nail-biting. Like, a simple holding your line, then there's somebody in the outside. You got to think about the corners. You got to think about the supers. What was that experience like?
That was awesome. I mean, I knew exactly what I was trying to avoid. And on that last lap when I was gaining on Timothy, we were doing like a little cat and mouse thing where I was trying to position myself on the outside once I caught him and kind of return the favor. But I couldn't catch him because he's that much smarter. Yeah, no, that was really fun. And yeah, the crashes are disappointing, but that's the first time I raced that. So heart rate up, intensity was there. Fun track, but like Ryan said, there are those chances to recover, but I think there's time to make up by overslowing, but it's almost like you can't overslow in those corners, especially if there are people around you.
I'll let you catch your breath and get ready, Beth. Thanks for that detailed analysis. Mr. John Pyle is saying he is hearing somebody with an open microphone. That's in the game. If you have the broadcast widget open and you're not watching, you're not listening, you can choose to mute people. You can close the broadcast widget, because if somebody's streaming in the game, which they will do to get bonus points, you will receive that feed. So you may think about closing that if you're listening to the broadcast audio. So Beth York, you heard from her. Timothy Tamut, somebody who wanted to know how big the gap was down to third. Timothy, the answer was 7 seconds.
Yeah. If there's somebody out there who wants the broadcasting spot, I'm not in the game anymore. I can't race like this. I'm sorry.
No worries, Timothy. We'll see you later. Timothy bowing out for the day. Now, Sebastian is in fourth. Seb, you brilliantly pulled off the corner caper move through the corners. You used the supers. Less crashes in that one. If it comes back in the grand finale, what do you reckon?
I don't hope so, that it comes back. I don't like it. It's too difficult for me.
What makes it so difficult?
Break. In German we say, wer bremst verliert, who breaks loses. So I don't like breaking.
I like it. So I don't think I've asked you this question, but what is your favorite map?
Country Rally.
Really?
Today Country Rally.
Oh, out of these four, but out of every map in the game, which would you pick?
Dust Bowl Crit. It's also one of my favorites.
Interesting. Well, Seb, good luck in the next race. There shouldn't be much braking in this one, and if you do brake, I think the German saying is quite true in this next race coming up. Rocky Mountains, 1 lap uncrashable, and then you have got 1 inertia as the super. Sebastian sits 4th, Ryan 1st, Beth 2nd, Timothy 3rd, then Alison Kubota in 5th, Quentin Moline 6th, Vibeke in 7th. As we get ready here, I think we can get the final word again from the winner of Sony by half a point. Quentin, you ready? One last go on Rocky Mountain for the day?
Yeah, I hope so. I'm trying not to influence the race too much because I'm on a Cade curve. I got the new kicker that's still trying to get up to like a normal equalization. So I'm trying to stay out of the racing, but I still need to try and set VBs as well. So I'm trying to stay off the front as much as I can, but yeah.
Got it. Well, Quentin, thanks for that. Good luck and have fun here on Rocky Mountains. It's good to see Stefan is in here as well. You can see him on the scoreboard in 11th, our newcomer. Hopefully everybody sharing the love with him as well. We'll see who's going to win Rocky Mountains. It was a straight instant classic in Zone E and K, and I think it could be more of the same here again in Zone L. Who was going to take the victory on the penultimate race of the day here? Oh, sorry, in Zone L. We do, as always, have more racing later tonight. In Zone T, where we'll see Casey Shum come back. We'll have Aaron Starling in the booth. We'll have Moti Bikilny, Luiso Berenice. We'll have Daniel LeBlanc. We'll have a few more come into the broadcast as well. as Ryan, Beth, the two giants at the front here, find themselves duking it out. Homer is there, John Pyle at the back as well in 7th place. This is, you know, this is the sort of race where I think John Pyle might actually be a contender for the win. He's got a sneaky sprint on him. He's very, very powerful. If he can stick with the group, if he can make sure to be in the leading group come the end, I reckon Sushi Salmon may find himself near the top of the podium. But it comes down to, can you stick with the draft? Can you find the wheel? Can you choose the right moment to be in the right position? That is what the best of CVRcade, the Cade Masters, the Cade Pros, that's what they've got nailed on down here. As we see Ryan and Beth on the front, John Pyle in 3rd, Vibeke in 4th, Homer moves on up. And as I said in Zone K, I wouldn't like, this is the sort of race where the race gets flipped upside down. Those that struggled in the earlier zones, they start to perform very well. Sorry, in the earlier races, starts to perform really well here. We saw Rick Woods almost take the victory. We saw Phil Lovett in Zone E. I think John Pyle, we saw Homer, we saw Allison. They will be trying to push it through here. Can't not mention Ryan and Beth on the front here as excellent riders. Vibeke was strong. She flew out of the gate. She was joined by her partner in crime, Jennifer Garcia, at least for a tiny bit. And they were looking quite strong as well here. As Beth, 2nd position. They got some drafting, and you can look at the scoreboard with Ryan currently in the lead. If it was to end as it stands right now, it would put Ryan 35 points ahead in the lead. Further down, in 6th, it's Sebastian Kuhn. He's playing this rather nonchalantly. He's playing it rather safe currently. In 6th, not worrying too much. He's on the wheel of Vibeke Bertram as we go on to the first person camera view. And this is where he goes. He doesn't quite trust Vibeke, and this has been Sebastian's MO for a bit. You don't really want to trust the rider in front of you. You want to get your own draft. You want to be the master of your own race. And now we see Sebastian Kuhn. He's moving to the rider. He doesn't care about the draft. You have to get on the train as Ryan and Beth slam to the right. They slow down the momentum. I think they may have just been trying to make sure to be in the right spot, but the consequence of that is that Sebastian Kuhn loses severe momentum. A great play from Ryan and Beth there, but as always, every play, every action has a consequence here, and we'll see if that has just angered Sebastian Kuhn more. It has put more fuel in the fire. They put logs in there, they put some gasoline, they put some, you know, lighter fluid. I don't know what else you can put in to make a fire burn harder, but Sebastian in 3rd. John sits here, and as we look, he's got like a slight Dutch tilt on his camera here, so he looks comfortable. He's got the artsy look. He looks around. He's like, what are you talking about? Me setting up the camera in a certain position? I would never, Jesper. I'm not even trying to show my Super Mario poster or whatever else that's on the wall over by your left shoulder as he looks. We can see it, John. We know. The chat knows. The Mixer chat never misses a beat. Back of this group, we do have Stefan H. Wait, if I look at the shirt there, did I see? Oh, I thought for a second I saw Cognition, but he is 10 seconds down. For a second, I thought Moti Bikelny had slid in there, but he has not. Stefan and Jeff down in 8th and 9th. We got Homer at the back here out of the United States of America. Moving on up. But everything so far seems controlled. It seems settled. As Ryan has not really left the front yet. Ryan has been on the front from the start to the finish so far. And we'll see if anyone's going to move on up. We've got DK in the chat. We got Austin. We've got Supermarine Spitfire. Alma 2000. Good to see everybody sticking around. He says, no Irish competitor. I mean, there is actually Casey Badger. Badger is Irish, but Badger raced earlier today. And on the stream, we've got Vibeke Bertram here out of Denmark. She raced strongly in K. She's in here for L. She sits 3rd on the road. And this is only 1 lap of Rocky Mountains. It's 1 lap. And right now, everybody's going hard, but nobody's going crazy hard just yet. And as I say that, there's Sebastian, and this time, he does not get caught up by Ryan Goldenberg, by Beth York. Here he goes, and that's the last you've seen of him. He is not looking back. He is not stopping. He's going to go 4,000 equalized. Okay, he goes inertia here. Inertia at 54 kilometers an hour from Sebastian Kuhn. Strong inertia. He's at 196. At this point, he's going to give it everything. John Pyle in second place here also uses his inertia. So he wants to be with Sebastian. Now you see him stand up again, press on, and 2 seconds is the gap here. He is going quicker than Sebastian, but he's also at 197. But it's only 4 kilometers left. You've got the steepest section coming up here as Beth uses her inertia at 47 kilometers an hour. Ryan in fourth, but this is changing the overall scoreboard. Ryan is at 136.5, Beth at 120.5, but Sebastian and John are gaining here. Let's see if they push on through on the hill. Here is the steepest segment of the map. It's the last hill. This is where you empty the tank and get ready for the descent as Ryan is coming through quick. Ryan has got inertia. He comes on the right side here. He says, hi John, bye John, hey Seb, bye Seb, as he moves away through. He goes in to the lead again here as our Arcade competitor pushes on through. Sebastian at 198. He initiated the moves and he's not going to give up. We go on to the descent here. Both Seb and John Pyle are 197 equalized heart rate. Allison also at 197 equalized heart rate as she has made her way back. Beth has blown a gasket. She's down in sixth. Only 5 seconds back though, so she has a chance to come back. This is very, very deja vu from Zone K. We get it all blown apart, but then slowly but surely the pieces, just like a jigsaw puzzle, get put back together, and we're starting to see the full image here as Beth York is attacking on through. She's down in fifth, and she is slowly closing down the gap to the top 4 here as she's pushing on through to try and get back. 191. Everybody's at 191 except for Ryan, who is at 181, who is 2 seconds up the road here. And if Ryan wins the race here, that is 35 points in the lead. But it's Allison Kubota. It is the duck. Oh, it's the duck who's coming on back here, who is pushing on through. I accidentally hit my screen next to me. But it's Allison Kubota, 193, who is pushing her way back up here. And what's interesting is that John Pyle, he must have good legs. He's fighting to get back here, and you can see the facial expression as he finds the bit of draft. He digs deep, he stands up, and he pushes on through us. Unfortunately for Sebastian, Sebastian has just completely stood still here. He's down in sixth. Seb is gone, but on the front, it is 4 riders left here. 5 if Vibeke can close the gap. And 2 kilometers left. We're on the descent here. And it is John Pyle on the wheels of Beth York as they move to the right. Sits in the draft. Tries and bring the heart rate down. But it's Ryan Goldenberg who's had his maple syrup this morning. Just riding and riding and riding on the front here. As you can see him fully concentrated. Keeps the power down. Keeps the pressure as he's 2 seconds in front of Allison. But if there's a concerned effort behind him, if Beth and John can get back to Allison, they can definitely come around here. It is not over until the end. You can see Ryan bringing down the pace here. Here is Beth York again. I think there's a slight incline coming up here as they push on through, and they can see each other. They're still all within reach. You can see the rider up the road, and I think we're in for one last all or nothing attack from Allison, from Beth, from John until the end. We're going to see who is going to be the winner of race 3 of Zone L. 1.5 scoring multiplier, 45 points for the leader. Here it is. This is where you've got to go full send. This is the last incline. It's Allison at 700 equalized watts. John and Beth both about 600. They can still see the 2 riders up the road. It is just an evil, long, straight road. You can see the blue rider of Allison. You can see the green, the black and green of Ryan Goldenberg as John still sits in. You wonder if he's going to come around here. He's had a rest on the wheel of Beth York. It's 700 meters to go. Beth moves one over, says, come on, John, your turn to take a turn at the front. And he goes, he stands up, he pushes down the pressure as he moves on up. He sits 5th overall here, 10 points behind 3rd, 20 points further down from 2nd. But it is still the man out of Canada, the person who can't get enough of maple syrup, Ryan Goldenberg, with 400 meters to go, 183. We look upon him, and he has just ridden this one from the gun on the front, and it was the inertia super that really gained him the lead he's got right now. The inertia over the top brought him that much speed. He didn't need to exert the energy on the steepest incline, and he got away. Further back, the fight is on. John Pyle has not given up. 2nd place sprint. He comes on through. He passes Allison, and Beth versus Allison. It is Allison as Beth sinks into the bottom of the name tag. Sebastian Kuhn versus Vibeke Bertram comes on through. Fantastic effort all around. Vibeke come 5th. Sebastian tried it all. But what this means is that the scoreboard now, Ryan has 150, Beth 117.5, Allison 93.5, John 92.3, and Sepp has 91. It is so close from 2nd and down, but Ryan needs to be the rider that needs to be topped on Country Rally. That's the one they're all chasing, the common enemy at the top. Let's see. As we got the replays. Ryan, that last... Actually, before we go to Ryan, I want to hear from John, because John, phenomenal effort. I mean, John, that was heartbreaking to come 2nd at the end there, but you looked like you knew what you were doing.
Yeah, that was just the tank. Last one with all the turns, I didn't do well in the beginning, so I took it easy and decided this one would be the most effort I have.
Well, it was excellent. I like that. I like that a lot, John. You came inches away, just like the last zone with Nigel and Rick. Now Country Rally coming up. You've got a chance here of getting a 2nd place, if not a 1st, John. I know you said to empty the tank, but is there a chance of a refill?
My house is a water, so probably not.
Aw, it's okay, John. We will all be cheering for you in this one. Good luck, Mr. Sushi Salmon. John Pyle, 2nd in the last race, 4th in this one. But Ryan, what did you have for breakfast? You rode on the front for 8.7 kilometers, and you never really looked back.
I think it was only 2 seconds in the end. And Beth, I managed to get on Beth's wheel at the top of the hill, because I needed a little bit of a break, especially when Sebastian and I think it was John went by with their inertias. So I don't know if I have any maple syrup today, actually, but I do have I don't know, some gummy treats, which I snuck at the beginning of this Omnium. So maybe I have to look at the ingredients there, make sure it's all legit. Or if not, I'll keep taking it anyway.
Well, Ryan, good luck here in Country Rally. The pressure is upon you as you're currently leading. The chat wants to give a shout out to that network guy working hard. So shout out to the network guy. Currently in 2nd, Beth, what a race. I mean, once more, Rocky Mountains, 1 lap. That just looked brutal.
Yeah, you know, I didn't know where the right spot to use. There were a couple right spots to use inertia. I probably should have used it sooner rather than responding to what was going on with those around me. So sometimes you do that. Sometimes you save it for response or recover, and sometimes you save it. Sometimes you don't save it at all and just be authoritative and commit to it. So I was a little wishy-washy, and I think that cost me a couple placements. I had probably 3 meters on Allison there at the end, maybe a little less. I knew that finish line was coming up quick. I just didn't have one last punch there. Didn't have one last punch, but it was fun riding with John. So good to have him in the races there. Tried to trade with him a little bit while we were running down the 3 in front. So good racing, good race.
Oh, amazing racing. And now, Beth, you got one last go here before you can call it a night. Good luck in Country Rally. They'll be coming for you. That's second place. There's a lot of people knocking on the door here, so good luck keeping them all at bay. Beth York, everybody. Now, in the last race, Sebastian Kuhn was the first one to initiate the attack. He gave it everything. But then, Seb, it looked like you just had a flat tire.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I changed the lines and then stopped or lost speed.
Well, Seb, you won Country Rally the last time. So, okay, Country Rally an hour ago. You raised your arms above your head. Big celebration, much intensity. Is that how we're going to end off the day as well?
Yeah, we'll see the same celebration in 5 minutes.
I like it, everybody. Sebastian Kuhn, 1 minute and 40 seconds before the racing begins. Currently sitting 6th, and joining us in the stream late was Vibeke Bertram. Vibeke, it's been quite a day. Second zone of racing here. You've got a chance of moving on up. Is it going to be your time here on Country Rally?
Well, last Omnium I really did okay on this Omnium. The race, my legs are a bit tired after the last Omnium, but if I can keep focus, I'm hoping to move up a spot or two. But I'm running out of energy, so who knows?
Well, it's only one race left here, so whatever energy you've got left, spend it. Unless you dare to come back for Zone T, but that would be quite the challenge. Vibeke, good luck.
That's like in the middle of the night, so that's not going to happen.
Well, good luck, Vibeke. Good luck to everybody else. We're about to get underway here in 40 seconds time. It is Ryan Goldenberg atop of the scoreboard. Beth in second, 117.5. Allison and John separated by 1.2 points. Then Seb is down 2.5 points from Allison. Then you've got Vibeke, Quentin, Homer, Jeff. Anything can happen here on Country Rally. One great responsibility, one inertia, one path of least resistance. Who is going to take the victory? Seb thinks to believe it's him. Do you believe it'll be Seb? And who do you think is going to win the overall? Ryan has been pretty dominant until this point, but the higher they rise, the stronger they fall, or whatever they say. So we'll see that'll be the case here. Last zone, Nigel Doyle with a quick, greater responsibility. We see Allison, and we see as well Jeff Rooney with great responsibility. So 7 great responsibility gets used here out of the gun. John on the far right. He needs to slow down here perhaps, and he does just in time. So great responsibility gone for the majority of the front. Oh, John Pyle, he eats some more sushi off the floor as he overlaps the wheels in the corner and goes down. Ryan on the front, Jeff's there as well. Allison, Vibeke comes on through. Vibeke crashes, in fact. So maybe not only the legs are getting tired, but also the mind as we look. Beth and Allison separated by 12 points on the scoreboard as Allison sits in second. Ben Shuilong has gotten back into the racing as well. Ben Shuilong returning. He sits at the front here in first place. He wants to get a victory as well today. He got second in Sony, and he wants to take a victory here as well as they come on through. Allison, Jeff, Ben, and Beth with Ryan down in fifth and Sebastian Kuhn in sixth. Now, Seb didn't use his great responsibility from what I saw. So he is keeping it until the very end here. So he's going to have to push it, keep them within limit, and then if he can time his great responsibility super, he can very well come back. This is a deceptive race. When you look at the scoreboard, it may look, and when you look at the leaderboard, it may look like Sebastian is out of it. But the majority of the top 5 all use their great responsibility, which is a very powerful super, and Sebastian's still keeping his as Ben Stewie along. Just path of least resistance right into a log, and like that, Ben goes, I'm going to bow out, and he's gone. So Sebastian Kuhn comes on through in 5th place, only 3 seconds down. So I'll remember the celebration he showed us earlier. He may show us it again. Looking at the scoreboard, it is Ryan, 202.5 points, looking strong. It is Beth, 170. It's Allison, 158. Jeff Rooney is 8 points behind, and Sebastian is currently 12 points behind Jeff. That is the money. Ryan looking to take home $30. 20 for Beth. 15 for Allison, 10 for Jeff, and 5 for Sebastian here as they come through the hay bales. The 4 riders on the front, all in one line as John Pyle once more piles up on the floor. He's going to have to scrape himself up as Ryan Goldenberg sits on the left-hand side. He's just waiting and waiting, biding his time as he passes Allison on through. And they all know, they know of the shark. They've all heard the doo-doo. At least if they've seen or heard the Cade Corner episode, they would have heard Beth York's imitation of Sebastian Kuhn. So they know what Jaws sounds like down in 5th place and 5 seconds. They probably know that it's not enough. And that's why you see Beth York pushing it on the front. And Beth has a chance here of coming back. Beth winning this right now is only 10 points down on Ryan. So if Ryan has a crash here, if Ryan falls down below top 5, top 6 here, then Beth York very well may just jump into the lead. It's a long race. There's 3.7 kilometers to go as they come onto the locks again. 188 is the equalized heart rate for Beth York currently as they finish the second lap of 5 as they push on through. Mott KG says Beth is amazing. Yes, as Sebastian Kuhn uses his inertia right here. He's coming on back. Vibeke as well with a great responsibility, but she's probably too far back here to make it back. But Sebastian just sits on the back here of Allison Kubota out of the United States of America. He's going to have to push on through now. What does he do? That was the inertia gone. He still has the greater responsibility, I do believe. He knows that as well, but it's Beth on the front driving this one hard. She's got the lead that she wants. She's out of the trouble. She laps the butts out on the map, and now she rides on through. We're exactly at the halfway point in the racing now. Who is going to take the individual victory? Who's going to take the top of the leaderboard? With Seb moving into 4th place now, he finds himself also 4th place on the scoreboard, 3 points ahead of Jeff. If he moves 1 spot up more, he would move in to 3rd place. As we've got Ada, we've got Musk, we've got Thomas, all holding their hands, lines of 1 and 1 and 1, crossing the street here on the left as Allison also gets passed by Sebastian Kuhn. Jeff in 2nd. Vibeke and Quinton in 6th and 7th have both used their greater responsibilities, so they will struggle to make it back now unless they ride a flawless race. We look at the front. Beth in the lead. 5 minutes and 3 seconds of racing here. She has a 3-second gap down to Jeff Rooney as they come to the logs once more. 2 laps are left. The penultimate lap begins, and here it comes from Seb. The greater responsibility gets activated. He goes by Beth. He flies on by as Jeff Rooney also crashes down. So Seb takes the lead here, puts him into 3rd spot, and Seb has a chance of moving up into 2nd, but it depends on Ryan, it depends on Allison, because they need to take over Beth's spot currently out on map. Seb is 16 points down on 2nd place, currently occupied by Beth York. If Ryan takes 1 spot over, Beth would lose 8 points here. So if Allison and Ryan pass Beth, Sebastian would move into 2nd, but Sebastian is not worrying about that currently. He is riding for the stage win. And Ryan, they've all got individual ideas here. They've all got different objectives. Sebastian wants to win the stage. Beth wants to secure 2nd place. Ryan wants to secure 1st. Allison wants to try and claw her way back up to 3rd. If not, she wants to keep 4th. And then John Pyle currently sits 5th by 3 points ahead of Vibeke. So that is also in the balance. Who is going to walk away with the final $5? It can all change here at the very end. We'll see who it's going to be. Alma2000, by the way, newcomer in the stream. I'm loving seeing you here. Hope you've clicked the follow button down below and you stick around because we stream again in 7 hours time. I do believe 6 or 7 hours time with Zone T. You can see the full broadcasting schedule over on our Facebook page. as Sebastian Kuhn enters the final lap of racing. The bell rings, you can hear the ding ding ding. Sebastian Kuhn gets ready. Can't tell if that's the knockout punch bell or it is the last lap, or both the same. Here's Beth with inertia at 45. She's trying to come on back here. She's keeping it steady. She keeps it calm. She gets a rest and she gets ready to go again because Ryan is just behind her here. They have ridden a perfect country rally race so far, and the scoreboard seems to have solidified itself in terms of the top 3 at the top. But 5th place still hangs in the balance. But it comes down to Vibeke passing Jeff. It comes down to John not getting passed by Stefan. We will see how that all pans out when we get there. Because on the front, the stage victory, the event victory currently sits with Sebastian Kuhn as he pushes on through. The Oracle himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Sebastian said, you know what? In 5 minutes time, you'll see my celebration. It's been 8 minutes, but we'll cut him some slack because he is working hard currently on Country Rally with 500 meters standing between him and the celebration. And you know he can see the gap is coming down as Beth crashes. She comes through the corner too hot here. How does that affect it? Does that move the podium ever so slightly? It puts Sebastian 4 points behind, but Jeff is too far back. Ryan sits in second on the event here on the stage, but he will solidify his victory on the top. And speaking of victory, Boulevard of Dreams for Sebastian Kuhn. He indeed does walk a lonely road, but he can take the victory here. Zip up his jersey, a German strongman. There's the celebration you've been looking for. Sebastian Kuhn with the win. Ryan Goldenberg taking the Omnium. Alison Kubota will come across in 3rd, but she will sit 4th on the overall. And then Beth York will come across in 4th here, taking 2nd place only by 4 points. Then John Pyle further down versus Vibeke. Vibeke versus Jeff here. This could be a good sprint finale between the two of them. Who is it gonna go? Is Jeff goes right, Vibeke goes right, and doesn't seem to be anything left in the tank. And then John Pyle, Quentin Molyneux, and Stefan further down coming across the line. Also Homer, 3rd Omnium of the day. Possibly going to do the 4th one later. We bow to you, excellence. That's awesome. And then John Pyle learning what path of least resistance does. John, you know, path of least resistance does reduce the friction between your tires and the road. If you use it in a corner, you will crash. And this could be, if Quentin comes on through, this could be 5th spot. This could be $5, and he knows that mistake almost cost John $5. You can see the relief when he knows he's got it. Next across the line was John. Then you got Stefan. Of course, all the results are pending bonus points. Matching kit and streaming in with audio. Those will be applied after the fact, so you may see some changes, but that will be out very soon. Stefan, next, let's roll the replays and let's hear from our riders as we finished off Zone L. Man, Sebastian, you said it. You said 5 minutes from now we're going to see the celebration. You came true to your word. What a race.
Was it 8 minutes?
I think it was 8 minutes in the end.
Fuck. That's worst.
Well, it's only one solution, Seb. You go back and do it again.
No way. 1 hour, 1 week rest for me.
1 week rest. Well, Sebastian, 3rd place in the end. Congratulations. Solid racing. I hope you've enjoyed it today. Good comeback towards the end. But the man of the hour that we must hear from, Ryan Goldenberg. As we watch the highlights, you were pretty much everywhere today as we see you on screen. Was it the gummy treats?
It must have been. You know, I'm going to have to, like, retrace all the steps I did today and try to repeat them every week because that was by far my best day. I thought maybe Timothy would show up for this last one, or Quentin, or I mean, you can tell me who's in the 4 for 4 day. I know they're in the club. Casey, he should have been back here trying to keep me from the sweep, but Sebastian got me at the end. So good racing by him. Beth was in second. I was following her. I didn't really have an incentive to pass her because I didn't think I was going to catch Seb. But once Beth crashed at the end, I was like, oh man, I wish I would have gone with Seb. not that I could have beat him at the end, but yeah, no, I'm happy with my day. Good job to Beth and Seb on the podium as well.
Good racing all around, Ryan. Do retrace your steps and make the world know what are the steps of a Canadian winning a CVRcade Omnium here, CVRcade Solo Cup. Phenomenal effort, Ryan. Congratulations on taking the win at the top. Second across the line, second on the Omnium, on the podium currently, Beth York. Beth, flawless race except for the last crash. What happened?
Yeah, no, I wasn't quite out of the corner before I initiated a lane change. So I was under the corner speed, but it said you can't change lanes going 40. I think I was going like 42. So I just hadn't cleared the corner. So I was trying to take the innermost line to shave as much distance as I could to just try to shave fractions. I didn't have much left in my legs at the time. So trying to find any advantage out on the map, and I just turned a beat too early. But that's okay, live and learn. That's what happens when you're fatigued and your legs are tired. So, but that was really fun. Had a great time out there on course, and yeah, great time. Great job to Ryan. Great job to Sebastian, Allison, John, Vibeke. I'm just reading down the list. Jeff, Quentin, Homer, Stefan. Thanks everyone for coming out and play. That was super fun.
If somebody wants to get a hold of a Beth York set of glasses, where do they go?
I think I got this some fancy place like the Dollar Tree or Value Store. They were $1. I probably bought them for my kids and then quickly stole them back.
Sounds sensible. Like any great person would do, Beth, when they realize they have greatness in their hands. Beth York, everybody, second place. Congratulations, good effort. Let's hear from the final rider of the day, the Mr. Sushi Salmon, as he's actually just left the building. Oh, he's there, he's sitting down. John, what were you doing?
Oh, lunch break's over, so I'm back on my work computer, which is here.
It's like you were never gone.
Never gone. But that was a good day. I'll have to talk to Quentin, man. That guy did me dirty a couple times. I don't even think he meant to, but
how did he do you dirty?
Well, I was on the inside and I braked, and then he braked with me at the same time, and there was an obstacle to the left, and I had to just completely stop and wait for him to start pedaling again. And then he did the same thing with that barnyard door.
That is part of the skill. Do you know? Did you know what path of least resistance did before you crashing, or did you learn the hard way?
No, at the end I was like inertia. You get up to speed, you hold it, and then I had the increased power for 5 seconds, and I was like, that one is the resistance one, but I didn't really remember like how it felt to use it, so I was just like, I'm just gonna use it now, and it was a bad idea.
Well, that was brilliant, John. Thank you so much for being here on your lunch break racing with us. Have a great rest of your day. And to everybody else who watched today, whoever else who raced, whoever else has been part of the streams, thank you so much. We'll be back here in 7 hours with more racing, as Aaron Starlin will be here in the commentary booth commentating on Zone T. More great CVRcade Solo Cup racing. This is definitely an awesome Omnium, and I think it'll be more fireworks later on tonight. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in 7 hours' time. But no, Beth York goes crashing down. Determination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marvels. Kayla versus Allison, and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory.